This video is going to show you the importance of using the rebuy calculator, which is right here in your dashboard, in between the top line here showing your earnings and the Bitcoin packages. So if you've been looking for it, the rebuy calculator is here. And what I'm going to show you is what I believe to be probably the most important sales tool when you're talking to a prospect. What you want to do is when somebody's indicated they'd like to take a look, or you're encouraging somebody to take a look at the business, then you want to get them in onto a joint call, a group call, maybe get your upline involved as well initially so you're comfortable and confident, and get your sponsor to help you with 2 or 3 calls initially until you're comfortable in going through everything. But the most important thing I do is that I sit and talk to somebody and find out what it is they'd like to achieve from USI Tech. What is their goal? And the sort of questions I would ask them is, what is their 3, 6, and 12-month strategy? Where would they like to be within 3 months? Where would they like to be within 6? And by the end of the year? And the tool that we use to do that, and I use to do that, is this great rebuy calculator in the back office. So let me click on that for a moment and show you, if you haven't looked at it, exactly how we use that to the advantage. So I'm going to give you an example. I spoke with a lady yesterday who is looking to move to Turkey from where she is at the moment, and I asked her the questions as to really what she was hoping that USI Tech can do for her. And her answer to me was that she would like, within a 6-month period, to have a residual income of $3,000 per month. That's a residual income. So what we did was we played around with numbers here, which we can do. So what we've got is we've got a calculator that we can play around and put in different numbers of packages and the length of time that those packages are going to run for. And just remember that when you do this, the length of time is working days, not calendar days. So there are around 250 working days in a year, or 125 in 6 months, not 365 calendar days. So I'm just going to change this to 6 months, which is 125 working days. And this will give you an idea of how we can play around with it. And what it'll do is it'll give us an indication, if I change these numbers around here, as to when we recalculate this. If we put in, for example, let's start with 100 Bitcoin packages. So the packages are 50 euros each. So you can say to somebody, well, okay, I'm not sure how you're wanting to get started, but there's 2 or 3 ways of growing the business. One is that you do it passively, which takes longer, unless you've got a significant sum of capital that you can put in and buy a large number of packages straight away. Now, don't assume that that person hasn't, because there's lots of people coming in buying an awful lot of packages right from the outset. But alternatively, they may want to grow the business and grow it by sharing, because you get 10% for life of anybody else's account that you directly refer in. So if I recommend John, and John starts with 20 packages at €1,000, then I'm going to get €100 straight in my back office of which to buy more packages. So let's go back to the example. Lady I spoke to yesterday, we played around with the numbers and we ended up with 200 packages. Her target within 6 months was to get to $3,000 as a residual income. So I'm referring to dollars because it's ease of figures. It could be euros, but let me show you how this works. So we've put in 200 packages, 125 working days, which is 6 months, and I'm going to hit calculate. When I hit calculate, it's going to change everything over. So what it's done is it's amended the Bitcoin value right here. And if I just show you what that relates to, that's 6.2710. And if we said today's value of Bitcoin was $1,600, it's going to equate to $10,033. That's $10,033. So when you relate that back to 200 packages at 50 euros, that's actually 10,000. So you can see this figure here corresponds directly to the value of 200 packages. So in other words, in 6 months' time, if this lady has 200 packages running, it's the equivalent of $10,000 running in the value of Bitcoin. Now, what it also does very cleverly is it shows you that if you compounded 200 packages for 6 months, 125 working days, you would have 684 packages by the time that 6 months had finished. Okay, but what we were trying to achieve here when I had that discussion with her was to look at where she was on the daily return of capital. Remember, she said to me she wanted to have around $3,000 as a residual income, but still making sure that her account was growing in the right way. So let's just take a look at what the daily return of capital will be when she has 200 packages. So it tells you that here she's going to have 0.2144. That'll do, I think, for numbers. And we'll multiply that by 1,600, which is currently the rate, approximately $1,600 to the Bitcoin. And this is shown in Bitcoin. And every day she's going to get 1% approximately daily return of capital. Now remember, it's working days that's paid out. So it's not 7 days that she's going to get that every week. It's 5 days. So in other words, there will be roughly 20 of those in a month. So if we take that and convert that to dollars, that's going to be around $343 per day times 20. And that's going to give her around 6,860 at the end of this period here. So that just gives you an idea of where she can be. So we can play around with this figure. Where she wants to be ultimately is having 200 packages here. So let's just work this back. Let's put 100 in here and hit calculate. Let's change that down now. Let's go back to 50. You can keep playing around with this because what we're looking to do is to try and get her maybe at around 200 packages and per day, which will show, so there's 204, so that'll do. So if she had 60 packages now running, in 6 months' time, she'll have 204 packages, which will pay her out a daily figure of this. So let's work that out. 0.0642 times $1,600 is $102.72 per day. Times 20 days, because it's working, that will be paying her $2,054 per calendar month. Now, she still needs her business to grow on that basis. So I'm going to double this. I'm going to go for 120 packages there and recalculate. And that's going to show now that she's going to have 409 packages within 6 months. And the value of that is 0.12878 times $1,600. That's now $206 a day, 20 working days in the month. That will pay her $4,120 per month. Now, what she's got to think about is she wants her business to continue to grow, and we tend to use a 70-30 rule. 70% stays in the business to rebuy, and 30% she can take out. So if we've just worked that out as $4,120 in a month, 30% of that is $1,236 that she can take out. So going back to the point she made, she'd like 3,000. Well, 3,000 divided by 1.236. We basically need 2.5 times this amount. So if we take 120 times 2.5, we can basically say that if she had 300 packages here, and we hit recalculate, that's going to give her 0.3237 within 6 months, and she'll have 1,028 packages running. So let me just show you the maths. Just stay with me because you'll see how this works in a second. She needs to get to 300 packages now to run for 6 months to give her 1,028 packages in 6 months' time, assuming she doesn't withdraw any money and assuming 1% as a return of capital. And she will then have, in 6 months' time, a daily return going into her business of 0.3237 Bitcoin. 0.3237 Bitcoin times $1,600 is $517 a day. So if we take $517 a day and there's 20 working days in the month, that's $10,340. $10,340 per calendar month. And if she keeps 70% of that in her business, so let's take 70% of that off, which is 7,238. that would leave her $3,102 to withdraw every month. So we've hit the magic mark. She wants $3,000 a month to have the lifestyle that she needs. And we've worked out that in order to do that, she's got to get to around 1,028 packages. And if she wants to do that within 6 months, which is there, then she needs to have running as soon as she can 300 packages. So the choices are either A, she buys 300 packages now at a cost of $15,000, or she starts to share and grow the business, and her target now should be totally focused at getting to 300 packages as quickly as she can. So we'll give her the sales tools, the sales funnels, the traffic in order to be able to do that. She turns it on autopilot, follows what everybody else is doing, and her goal will be, if she can get to 300 packages, she knows factually that within 6 months she is going to have the $3,000 per month that she wants as her lifestyle. That's it, and that is how powerful this calculator is in the back office. You can literally show somebody the route to getting to where they want to be within the time frame they'd like to get there, just by playing around with these numbers here. So I hope that helps, and I hope that shows you where you should be taking people and just giving them some confidence that if they follow A, B, and C, they're going to get to D, which is exactly the target figure that they want. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.